In the end, summarizing the procedure for the same, you have to clean the surface of the blood collection using the 70% alcohol with the cotton swab, and using the disposable syringe you must collect around 2 ml of venous blood, and that must be mixed with the anticoagulant, and that anticoagulant will vary as per the choice of the method that you are adopting. In case of Wintrobe's method, you must use double oxalate mixture and mix them well and fill the tubes using the Pasteur pipette. Whereas in case of the Western Grants method, it must be diluted first with the 3.8% sodium citrate in the ratio 4:1, and then using suction method, it must fill the tube till the zero graduation level. And then you must ensure there isn't any air bubble in that, and you must transfer the tubes to the stand in a well vertical manner without any inclination, and you must express results in millimeter. It must not be written per hour, that will be wrong, because here we are talking about only the first hour. In the later hours, the rate of sedimentation will decrease, because 98% of the sedimentation just completes within the first hour only. So you must report the result in in the first hour, not per hour. So you must not write per hour at anywhere, because that will be wrong. So that was all regarding erythrocyte sedimentation rate, its definition, clinical conditions, methods of its estimation, and the overall procedure. Thank you. Now, while performing the ESR estimation, you must pay attention to some precautions, like the blood which is collected, it should be collected in the fasting state only, means the person should be empty stomach. Then you cannot interchange the anticoagulant used in the two different methods, means you cannot use double oxalate mixture in Western Grants, and you cannot use sodium citrate in the Wintrobe's tube method, because the size and their size and shape of the tubes, they are different. In Western Grants you have the capacity to dilute the sample, whereas you cannot do so in the Wintrobe's method, whereas the reporting values, they will also vary in two cases. Then as soon as you have collected the blood, it must be estimated within the 2 to 3 hours of collection only at the adequate room temperature, that varies from 20 to 35 degrees Celsius, because the changes in temperature also affect the sedimentation rates of the RBCs. Then if the sample gets clotted or you see the hemolysis has occurred, so you must discard that sample. In that case, you will not get the accurate results. And during the estimation, the tubes, they must not be disturbed and must be properly aligned in a vertical manner. Here you can see the different clinical conditions in which you can see the rise in ESR and decrease in ESR. There are some physiological conditions, means not related to the disease condition, in the normal condition. Like in females, you are having already high ESRs as compared to male, and then people living in the high altitudes, they also show the high ESR rates, and in the pregnancy also from the 3rd month, ESR rate tend to increase. Then in pathological conditions, you can say, like in case of infections, where the level of plasma proteins increase, so you tend to see more sedimentation of the RBCs, and ESR values, they tend to increase, like in case of tuberculosis or pneumonia. The cells, they are able to stick to each other when there is decrease in the electrostatic retardation, and that decrease in electrostatic retardation is achieved by the bacterial proteins and toxins released into the circulation. So that also lead to the increase in RBCs, because they form Rayleigh and tend to sink downwards. In case of certain anemias, except spherocytosis, pernicious anemia or sickle cell diseases, in all the other type of anemias, there are a reduction in RBCs and ESR tend to increase. The biconcave shape of the RBCs, it tend to promote the Rayleigh formation. So more the Raleighs are forming, and there is more tendency to sink towards the bottom, and there will be higher ESR. Then is the decrease in viscosity. It can be due to the raised body temperature, raised environmental temperature. That decrease in the viscosity will help RBCs to reach to the bottom much easier as compared to the plasma proteins and show higher values of the ESR. So then in cancer also the high ESR is reported, and in the non-infectious diseases like gout you tend to have high ESR. Then is reduction in ESR is seen when there are conditions like polycythemia and higher number of RBCs are seen, like in case of infants they always suffer from hypoxia like condition in the 9 months of gestation. So at the time of birth they are having higher number of RBCs, so the ESR in that case tend to be lesser as compared to the adults. So in all the type of anemias we have seen there is increase in ESR, whereas in these type of 3 anemias you are having decreased ESR. In reverse to this, increase in viscosity lead to lower ESR values. And if in the case of the choice of anticoagulant, like in case of Vintrops, you have the lower reported values of ESR as compared to the Western ones, where the solution form of anticoagulant is used. A genetic disease called as afibrinogenemia. In this case also the people show the lesser ESR values, and in certain allergic reactions ESR reported is quite less.